Colin?
Hey, Coach Martin. I mean, up 14 in the second half. Did you sense a change in your team or in the way they were playing, or can you put your finger on what happened exactly?
I really can. It's one thing I said to our staff after the game. What happened? It was just slowly, and all of a sudden they make a run, they make plays. I thought we had one of our better halves all season in the first half, really moving the ball, sharing the ball, defending, protecting the lane, getting everything we want out of the ball, screen actions, dives behind you. And then the second half, it just I couldn't tell you. I need to watch film to see exactly what happened, but just wasn't the same team, especially I think we were up 14 and I don't know, with 17-minute mark in the game kind of changed from there.
Gabe?
Cuonzo, did you sense any during that run, did you feel like your team lost composure, shot selection, or anything on the offensive end?
I thought they did in spurts. We're trying to get back into it. And I thought maybe one or two before they start to make the run, instead of just continue like we talked about, take what they give you. Just take what they give you, make the right play. The game will take care of itself. And I thought, I don't know if we got consumed with us having the lead and not making the plays that got us there in the first place, and we paid for it.
Eric?
Cuonzo, how do you just go about correcting whatever you saw went wrong? Is it more so just letting the team get back on the floor and making this a quick for better, or something else?
No, I think, again, to be specific in areas, I have to watch film, but I just really thought from this, like in the first half, I thought we did a great job moving the ball, sharing the basketball, taking the scouting report to the floor, and that part was great. And I think in the second half, maybe around the 17-minute mark, maybe a quick shot here, off-balance shot here, they make a play, a foul here. Then when you take Tilly out, I think he got 3 fouls. We took him out. Then all of a sudden they got a run. They got their heads up. I thought we missed some open shots too. And it just went from there. And they played assertive. And then I thought Stewart made some big-time shots. He consistently made shots.
Mitch?
Cuonzo, you mentioned Stewart, and he and Molinar, I think, combined for 36 points in that second half. I mean, is that just, them knocking out shots, or is there something that you feel like should have, maybe been done differently on the defensive end on your all's part?
No, we of course have to be better because we were better in the first half. It's just really, again, taking pride, keeping the ball out of the lane like we did in the first half. We didn't do a very good job in the second half of keeping the ball out of the lane. I thought DJ Stewart made a couple tough shots, maybe 3 or 4 tough ones. But other than that, I thought Molinar was getting in the lane. That can't happen. We got to stop the ball high, force those bigs to shoot perimeter shots, and then, if you shoot the ball, you got to block out. And I thought we did all those things in the first half.
Dave Matter?
Cuonzo, I know you were concerned about them on the offensive glass, and the second chance points were really lopsided there. Just how big were some of those putbacks that they got tonight?
We know that bigs are physical, and they were key putbacks. And I think they had 6 offensive rebounds in the first half. In the second half, they got key ones. But the key with their team, if you allow their guards to get in the lane and make plays, they're physical guards. You help up, you better block the shot. If not, they're bigs on the backside getting offensive rebounds, and that's what happened. You got to keep them out of the lane. You got to keep those big bodies off the glass, and they took advantage, especially in the second half.
Sweetie?
Dave just kind of asked the question I was going to ask, but just when you look at the rebounding margin, that is 37-22, just for this team in particular, and I know you preach it every game for this Mississippi State team, just how big was that coming in?
That's the biggest thing with that team. They crash the offensive glass. They have big bodies. They crash in the glass. Now you just got to take pride in blocking guys out. Again, I said it 3 times, the same thing we did in the first half. Yeah, and again, I thought they had 6 offensive rebounds, but I thought we did a great job of cracking down, being physical, driving guys back. And you have to maintain that. I mean, this is a team that will keep coming, they'll keep hitting you, and you have to take pride. And it can't just be Jeremiah. Other guys got to take pride in hitting bodies and blocking out.
Jack?
Cuonzo, what's your message to the team when Mississippi State's going on this kind of run in the second half and you start to feel the game slipping away like that?
Well, a couple of things. Depending on the situation, gather yourself, maintain your composure. This is what we need to do, because if you see what's going on at that particular time, you address that situation. That's what we need to do to get stops. That's what we need to do to maintain. We got to focus on these things. And what happens, you have to settle in and you have to slowly get stops. I mean, you're not going to get 5 stops in one possession. You got to slowly get stops. Then you got to execute on the other side of the basketball. I thought we had some shots that just didn't go in the second half, and then all of a sudden we couldn't get stops, and that's how that lead escalated.
Dave?
Javon gave you a little spark there in the first half, but how much are you still really searching for some offense off the bench, some scoring there?
I think, like Mitch, we got to somehow get Mitch going. So I thought Mitch had some opportunities. I thought he had some open threes because we got to find a way to get him going because that's another element. I thought Javon had great energy there. And it's not so much as, searching for it as long as those guys do what they need to do. But we got to find a way to get Mitchell Smith going.
Mitch.
Cuonzo, you've talked a lot this season about, guys having experience and having kind of taken their lumps and learning from that experience. I guess, does it, concern you at all when you see an experienced group kind of have that second half, or are you pretty confident that this will be contained to that half?
Oh, I'm confident we'll get it corrected. But I mean, the biggest focus is, like I said to our guys, when you're one of the top teams in the country, you have a number in front of you, teams approach you differently. There's a level of respect, and you have to maintain it with your work on the floor. And all of a sudden, you give a team an inkling of think, okay, we can compete with these guys. Let's do this. This will work. And then all of a sudden, now they make it a ball game because everybody's talented. And you're going to get teams' best shots. And like I told those guys, when we were a team that was searching, trying to be ranked in all those things, we put everything in our power to try to win that game. And that's what they did. You're talking about a talented team, experienced physical team. They are. And they won the game. They set a different tone in the second half, and we paid for it.
Eric.
Cuonzo, how much of your job right now do you think is just to stay even keel? I mean, you really could have sung your team's praises over and over again after Saturday, and tonight you really could have done the exact opposite. How much is it just to stay calm, cool, and collected right now do you think is part of your job?
I just think that's who you are because, again, winning and losing is a very fine line. The last thing you want to do is, break spirits. Because if you're a competitive basketball player, and you take pride in what you do. I mean, there's certain things we address amongst each other, but when you're a competitive player and you love this and it pains you to lose games, you already feel certain things anyway. And you address stuff as a team. There's certain things I'll say in the locker room that I won't say in other settings because you want to respect their space, and it's always a team and it's a family. But we got to get more toughness in certain areas, especially in the second half when teams are making run. We got to get a little more grit to us, and they made enough plays, and we couldn't bounce back.
We got time for a couple more. Colin.
Hey, Coach Martin, your team seems pretty well equipped to guard the three-point line and the rim, but pull-up jump shooters were a bit of an issue against Tennessee, and then again tonight. Is that a defensive weakness for this team, do you think, and how do you go about correcting that, or is it just the caliber of players in the SEC?
Oh, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a weakness. You're talking about two teams that made pull-ups because you're also talking about probably the lowest percentage shot. Now, they made the shots, but I'll take my chance any day. I think if you look at any type of analytics, those are the toughest shots. You're talking about tough twos. Maybe you're talking about guys that are probably 6'6", shooting over guys that are 6'3" and 6'4", but I'll take my chances on guys taking tough two-pointers.
Sweetie.
Cuonzo, you guys have done a pretty good job getting to the free throw line all season, but only 6 trips today. Just what kind of went into that, you think?
I just think, again, when they had 3 fouls in the second half, and it's just I'm not sure how many times I've seen that in my career where you have a team that plays man to man and only 3 fouls in the second half. I like to think we were getting downhill, crashing the glass and all that. So, but it's what it is. You deal with it, not to make any excuses, but just they're man. It's not as if they're playing a zone; they're playing a man-to-man defense. So there was some fouls somewhere, and it was a physical game. So I thought there was contact on the floor, but that's not the reason why we lost the game.
Last one. Ben Hockman.
Cuonzo, real quick, you mentioned Mitchell Smith. What are your desires for him from an offensive standpoint? Do you want him shooting as many 3-pointers as he was taking?
Yes, I want him shooting open threes. Those are shots he take a lot in practice. He makes them in practice. I want him shooting those open threes. I want him to be confident shooting them. Yes.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.